Hello everyone, today I'm going to teach you guys how to build, okay, a little bit of a lag spike. Okay, but today I'm going to teach you guys how to build a Warden suppressor as long as a chunk loader that is my design, not the Warden suppressor, but the chunk loader. I think this works in point 4 and point 5. I'm on point 4 right now because reasons my friend's server was on point 4 and I decided to play on that. But today I'm going to teach you guys how to build one. It's super easy and it won't really doesn't cost a lot of materials, but let me get you the materials for it. Let me just make sure I can hear stuff. Oh, that's not that's not pleasant to the ears. Well, nope, I don't want those on. Okay, let's make sure everything is good. All right, so let's go. So the materials that you're going to need to build the Warden suppressor are Redstone Repeater, a sculk sensor, not a shrieker, a sensor, not this guy, a piston, where you at? I spelled ladder wrong. A ladder, and a chain. Then you're also going to need, we can actually find it, I'm not really used to this yet, is a bow and an arrow. A couple more things you kind of want to get is water, wool of any choice, and any solid block. For this, I'll be using bricks. With this all right here, this is everything that you're going to need to build this Warden suppressor, and it's actually really easy. I actually prefer you actually getting 2 water buckets. You're good. You're just gonna basically need one of everything, except probably the building blocks. You're gonna need one of everything that's right here. So everything that's in my inventory right now, you're gonna need one of. And you're gonna need multiple blocks of these. So probably grab 64 of each if you want to. But with that out of the way, let's TP to an ancient city slash TP itself. Let's see. Oh wait, no, it's a slash locate. That's what it is. Slash locate structure. We're gonna type in city. All right, and then we're gonna TP to that. Let's do -5. Whoa. All right. So we're in an ancient city. So now I'm going to teach you guys how to do this. I actually might want to turn the sound on because I probably need to hear. I might just turn the master volume just down. All right. So to find an ancient city, you can kind of look for them using the generation. If the generation looks really wonky and really busted up, like mountains are really tall, the terrain is busted, then there more than likely is an ancient city under here. My theory is because the ancient city is kind of pushing everything up. I don't know. It's kind of just how it works. But anyway, so first you kind of want to find a shrieker that is around a good area, kind of like this. But there's too many shriekers there. You kind of want to find one that's kind of isolated by itself, kind of like this one. That one's pretty isolated, but it has some stuff around. The ancient city's big, so it's probably not going to be a hard deal trying to find one. This one's alone, but it's by many structures. Try to find one that's pretty isolated, away from the group. That we should be able to find one soon. If not, I'm just gonna have to work with one that we've already passed up. Oh, okay. This is actually pretty good. So we're gonna use this one. Whoa, I didn't know. Yo, I didn't know they did that. Wait, do they stop? Wait, I want to see. I actually didn't know they did that. Okay. But anyway, I should probably be sneaking. I could kind of still spawn the warden because it is still hard mode. But basically, what you're gonna do, kind of gonna cover this up, and then we're just gonna go over and we're gonna break all of these. So what you want to do, you kind of want to break some of these sensors here. Just make sure that if there are any sensors around, break them all. Probably like in a 10 block radius, I guess 15. Whatever you're comfortable with. Like these ones over here, I'm just gonna patch you up first. All right. You kind of check around. They got some ones over here, but I don't think they're gonna cause any controversy. Kind of get rid of this guy over here. These ones have this has a lot of them over there. But anyway, let's get started with the tutorial. Next thing you want to kind of do is you want to break all of these over here. Kind of get rid of some stragglers here and there. Make your ground flat. If there are any structures, any blocks near it, then I recommend you break them probably in a 5 to 6 block radius. Like I said, you're gonna need a very flat ground for this. It's like all these slabs and stuff, they have to go. These little blocks right here, because we're gonna be utilizing the water buckets that we're gonna be using to actually block the warden from spawning. Now, if there are any structures nearby, just take your time and delete them. Now, let's see, I am kind of curious, what is in here? I'm gonna see switch sneak too? Not bad. Hey, I heard you. Kind of get rid of all these. Now, of course, yeah, I'm in creative mode, so I'm making this faster. Yep, and all that's left is the chest. Whoa, no wonder so loud. Alright. So the next thing we're gonna want to do is you're gonna find whatever chunk this thing is in. So press, for me, if you have a 65% keyboard, you want to press Function F3 and G at the same time, and you'll locate the chunk borders. Now here, this one is in an odd spot. I've actually never had it look like this before. Because depending on how it is, you're gonna have to build it how it is. So this one is on the edge. So if you see at the edge of it, so what you're gonna do, we're gonna delete this because that can actually mess up some things. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just place a solid block here. So wherever you're in the chunk, you're gonna place this, and I'm messing up. Whatever chunk this thing is in, you're gonna build in that. So we're gonna build it inside of here. And this is a little iffy spot. That's what I'm saying. It's a little iffy spot here. But basically, you're gonna break out 2 blocks on each side, depending on how it is. If it is on another chunk, maybe you gotta build like another chunk loader to keep these ones open. However, the chunk loader that I have will load in a 3x3 chunk area, so I think you'll be good. Um, Obviously, each chunk loader is different from the past. It just uses the same design as many others, but I made it differently. So you're gonna break out a 2x1 area like this. So no, 1x2 area. Um, 1 block deep and 2 blocks out. All right, so now let's get on with the redstone bit. The redstone bit is actually pretty easy. Just follow along. What you're gonna do, you're going to place a ladder here with a redstone repeater on the last tick going right here, and with a solid block in the middle, right here. On the other side, you're going to place redstone, a piston with a temporary block right here, and a chain that goes in like that. This is literally your entire thing. This is how this works. There's going to be you're going to place a skull sensor here later, because if you don't, then, and if you've already uncapped this, then you're going to start spawning wardens, and we don't want that. So you're going to place a skulk sensor right here at the very end. This right here is going to get triggered by the sound, because we're going to shoot an arrow right here. Oh yeah, I forgot. Place a solid block right here too. It's going to get triggered by the arrow, which is going to trigger the shrieker. And that arrow is going to come right back over here, trigger the shrieker. Boom, bam. It's going to keep on going in a loop. Now from each square, you're going to count out 4 blocks, or each corner of here. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Have 4 blocks as a gap, and on the 5th block, place a block like that. So with the 4 block gap, so 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th one, place a block. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a block. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now, just to check if everything is even, you can kind of like connect them all. But essentially, this is what you should have. Now, what is this area you may propose? Well, it's simple, my friend. This is the area on where the warden can spawn. They don't spawn on the 5th block, but in this area where the 4x4 gap is, all of that is where the warden can spawn. So if I were to like make sure, if I connected them all up, these would all connect together, and they would allow the warden to spawn. That's why I'm saying we need to get rid of all these water things, or I mean not water things, the little pest. I don't know what they're called. But basically, this is how you build this thing. Now, before we place any water, we're going to locate the chunk on where this thing is at, and we're going to place this chunk order somewhere. So somewhere that's not along these lines, you can put it right here. Now, I'm going to get the materials for the chunk order. What you're going to need is obsidian, a lever, 1 minecart, some normal rails, preferably 2 normal rails, and 4 powered rails. I'm knowing grabbing 1, but it's basically everything you're going to need to build this chunk loader. Oh yeah, also, if you still have your blocks from this, then obviously you should. This is what you're gonna do. Don't build into the ground. You can build into the ground, but I find this to be more efficient. Find a perfect spot where you kind of want to build this. I'm gonna build mine this way. I'm gonna build it to the south. You don't have to build it, but for me, I'm gonna build it in the south. What you're gonna do, I'll probably do this a little bit. So basically, what you're gonna do, make a normal portal. Quiet. I don't want you to snitch on me. All right. So make yourself a normal portal. So to make a normal portal, you need 12 pieces of obsidian, but if you need to, you can cut out the corners. It don't really matter. Just get enough obsidian to make a normal portal. Practically everyone knows how to make one. Oh, I should have probably mentioned that. You need flint and steel to light the portal. I think that's, or fire charge, doesn't really matter. But you're done with that. You're done with the obsidian part. Now we're going to get onto the actual mechanism itself. You're going to place a solid block, 2 solid blocks actually, like this. Build up a stair, and then do 1 more time like this. So you should have kind of like a boot a little bit, kind of like an arrow going up. You kind of just want to have this. Do not build it on the other side. You're then going to place 2 powered rails, going 1 on top of that block and 1 on the first block, and the middle to connect the both. This is what you should get. Place a lever connecting here. This will turn on that powered rail, and place another one on the nether portal connecting that one. Now light your portal. Go through your portal and see where you end up. Alright, so we are in a soul sand valley. We are in the nether. I kind of want to check this out. It's pretty cool. Anyway. Also, I'm using mellow shaders, so if you want to, you can use this. Now that you've located where you are in the nether, you're going to go back through your portal and you're going to want to release a minecart. Place it on the normal rail for it to just slide down. It's going to get powered by here and get sent through the nether. Go to the nether and locate your thing. As you saw, because we came up from this way, it's going to go that way. So now do the same thing again, but just use the ground to your advantage this time. Place a powered rail. Place a powered rail, followed up by a normal rail, followed up by another powered rail to look like what we did in the overworld. Place a lever right here, and place one that's right here that powers this one. If you place it on the ground, you can, but I find that placing it on here is more comfortable and it looks aesthetically pleasing better. And now that's basically your chunk order done. So you can go back and just to test it out, you want to place your minecart here. And essentially what this is going to do is going to follow up, go into the portal to where we placed the minecarts and everything. The rails. It's going to come back, slingshot back and forth, kind of like this, as if there was one straight up over here. Here's what it looks like on another side. All right. Now that you've gotten that, I highly encourage you getting wool because this could trigger the sensor a little bit. So get some wool and just kind of just like block it off here. Kind of something like this. That way it blocks the sound going this way. All right, now you're almost finished. The last thing you're going to want to do is you're going to need to break the sides of the thing like that. Wait, I probably should have said that first. I realized I made a crucial mistake. That's on me. You actually needed to break those things first. I apologize. They're supposed to be like this. I completely apologize about that. That's on me. I will be better next time. Alright, but I guess this is a good way to kind of recap of what you need to do if you forgot. Place a ladder going right here, a repeater going on to the final tick. Over here, place a redstone dust with a piston going next to that redstone dust. Place a solid block or temporary block to place a chain there. And then place two solid blocks going on each side of here so that the water doesn't actually break it. That's what these are for. Now the final thing you need to do is place water. I recommend placing water kind of in the middle of where these blocks are. That way it covers a big amount of the area. Big amount of the area. English. It doesn't have to be perfect, just make sure that it covers all of this. So it kind of should look like this. You could break these wool blocks, you don't really need them, but it's kind of just to gauge where the warden will spawn. And the very final thing you need to do is place a sensor right there, and then now shoot an arrow into here. You can break that too. So look at this. So basically these two things kind of just work hand in hand. This powers the piston, and once that falls down, it actually triggers it back, which triggers another piston thing just to go back and forth. So now after 3 strikes, this thing is actually going to start doing a little warden getting mad noise. Like that, but nothing really happens as you can see. So now let's go far away. Let's go to like another part of the city, probably over here, preferably, where there's some of these things. Look at that. move around all you want. You can dance on it if you want. If you want. I don't recommend doing that, but you can go into the ancient city and you can loot the thing. I'm never really in here or breaking in. Okay, they got some golden grids. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like a freezer if you think about it. Oh no! That's alright. But now you can roam through here scot-free. And guess what? Just for more realism, I'm gonna put myself in survival. So you can kind of see how real this actually is. That way I'm not seem like I'm actually faking it. Yeah, it's my fault. It's my fault. But as you can basically see here, well, that didn't have any shriekers nearby. But we can walk around. We can do a little dance, do a little trance. And hey, look at that. Found a smithing template. Wait, what was that enchanted part? That was Swift Sneak 3. Wow, okay. Yeah, we chilling. Look at that. Sweeping Edge 3. That's actually really good. But now we can... Whee! Oh, we're so good at emojis. Look at that. We'll run on top of them. They can't do nothing to me. But look at that. So now we can just keep running around. Open up this chest. Look at that. We got infinite food now. Well, my food, at least. Isn't that just tasty? But now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna teach you guys how, why this thing. I'm typing this stuff wrong. I'm gonna go creative mode, and now we're gonna TP probably 1,000 blocks away. 64. Now we're gonna go tens of thousands of blocks away, and here we are out in the middle of nowhere. Whoa, we are now in the middle of nowhere. Now we're gonna locate a new ancient city. Yep, this is a brand new one from the last time. So I'm gonna go there real quick. 99104. Alright, so we're in a brand new ancient city. We are thousands of blocks away from the original. Look at that, we are thousands of blocks away from the original, and it's still working. Now you're probably wondering what is a Warden suppressor? Well, see, only one shrieker can be shrunken at a time, I guess. Shrieking at a time. So if we're constantly shrieking one, then that means others can't be shrunken. I guess we'll say shrunken. It can be shrunken at a time. But yeah, basically because we're constantly shrieking it, no others can actually be shrunken at all. So, and because it's your arrow, you're the one that's actually doing it. So it doesn't matter how far you go. And plus, you have a chunk loader, so it's constantly loading that chunk. So while everything else is probably unloaded, that chunk specifically, or those chunks specifically, have not been unloaded. That's another Swift Sneak 3 bug. And no, I'm in creative mode, and it doesn't really matter. I can switch to survival, and it'll still act the same. I'm legit standing on top of it. It's not doing anything. It's just like a normal block. And I'm running around. And these things are trying to shriek them, but they can't because I'm constantly shrieking one. Now, I do not know if this works on a server. I have built this on a server, and it kind of works. However, due to some things how server works, there's like a random tick or kind of like a little lag in the system where it kind of just stops working for a second. It doesn't really like break the whole thing, but it stops working and then it'll allow the shrieker to shriek, which is a little weird. But as I've tested it in single player and in my own hardcore world, it actually does work. I rated about like 5 cities because I got tired. I got everything I wanted. But I'm going around. I'm raiding ancient cities like a boss. Wow, look at that. Oh yeah, look at all you level. Here, you want some? You want some, boss? What? No, you don't? Come on, it's good for you. Here, you want some too? Here, everybody gets some. Oh my gosh. There's so much XP just absorbing inside of me. Hmm. How much XP are we getting? We're at level 34 and counting. Can these things finish up? Huh. But yeah, there we go. When we just spawned a whole bunch, making a whole bunch of noise. No, bro, my diamonds. Hello. Hi there. What I got? Yeah. But yeah, you. This is how you make uh an efficient chunk loader and a Warden suppressor that still holds up in uh point 0.5, which works, and point 0.4, which is all actually really good. I don't know in future updates if these will actually still work. Of course, I will test them out, but I think this is a success. Like I said, this probably will have some issues on a server. If it does, please let me know. I will try to make a brand new design that does work on servers. But however, I didn't say they didn't. I didn't say they didn't work on servers. I just said it's a bit iffy on servers. You can run around and not trigger any, but probably there'll be a point in the server where like there's like a lag spike or something, or just like a random tick that happens in the server, and it'll like stop it for a second, and then you'll summon a warden by accident. But I've seen this thing work on single player, and it seems to be working pretty fine. But yeah, sure, go test this out, see if it works. Like I said, everything does work. Then just for convenience, I'm gonna get everything again, but just in the block format. That way you can actually have a good materials list. Everything in my inventory here is for the Warden suppressor. 64 of any type of wool block, any type of building block that you want. 64 of those. If you want 64, don't really. These are just for if you need extra. One redstone dust, one redstone repeater, one piston, one chain, a bow, and some arrows. If it has infinity, it doesn't work. Do not use infinity. Infinity probably will not work. I rather you actually just use a normal bow. A normal bow will work fine. Flame will also work. Uh, I don't know. It might despawn. I don't know, but just use a normal arrow. Use a normal bow and arrow if you want. Enchantments will work. Infinity will not work. I think I haven't tested that yet. And a water bucket, preferably two, so you can make an infinite water source. To then make the chunk loader, you will need This is for a normal obsidian portal. If you were to skip the corners, you would need 14. If you're wanting to build the full thing, you're gonna need 14. This right here is to build the chunk loader, and you can still use some of the blocks that you've used from here. That's why I said grab 64 because you are gonna need some for this. But yeah, this is the entire materials list. This is for the Warden suppressor as a whole, and this right here is for the chunk loader. You're also, oh, I forgot to actually get it. You're also gonna need some flint and steel or a fire charge. So I'll put this. You can either get a flint and steel or a fire charge. Both will light the portal, but flint and steel probably a lot of people will use. But yeah, this is how you do it. Thank you for watching this video. It's probably one of my first ever videos that I'm gonna be making on this channel. Uh, I want to try to do more. I want to try to build more farms or build more contraptions that help. And a lot of people use different like variants of others, and they use it and craft their own design. The chunk loader that I built is it's very similar to other designs, but for this one, I think it works with the elevated minecarts thing because Mojang added a feature where they had minecarts go faster, and this I think believe me personally, I believe this actually does help um, with that. So it kind of slows them down if you were to turn them on. So yeah, you can do this. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. But before that, we are gonna summon him because why not, bro? Let's say hi to our boy. Hey, dude. What is crackle lacking, my G? Alright, fine. I'll do it. I just want to do it just one time. Just one time. Before we end the video, we gotta end. I think I might end it off with a joke every single time. It's not gonna kill you, but we missed. No. Hey, where do you think you're going? Ah, we had the wrong thing open. He's having fun in creative mode. Wee, wee, wee. Again, 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 again. Combo, combo. All right, bye.